Hi there everybody, MannwidaPlann here, recording for the first time in Malta in the brand new office. Great to see you guys, and yes, I am sunburned. I'd like to thank all of you for your support, your patience and understanding over the last few weeks while I've been making all of these changes happen, but mostly I wanted to send you my thanks for all of the support over the last year in particular. It hit me a few months ago when the old laptop had broke and I found myself coming home from work and I was unable to make any of my recordings or my edits, and I found myself kind of stuck. A lot of my family live very far away, and without being able to do any of the editing and recording, I found myself just kind of sat waiting to be able to go to work again, and it was really quite sad. And that's when I realized that if it wasn't for doing the YouTube videos and the live streams and the recording and the editing and all those kind of things, that I don't know if I would have actually been able to stick it out. I think I probably would have gone completely insane within a month, and then of course I wouldn't have continued the plan and I wouldn't have actually saved up the money that I needed to be able to come here. And I don't think I'd actually be here right now in Malta, finally back happy with my girlfriend again after a year apart. If it wasn't for you guys with the support and the suggestions and the advice and how you kind of encouraged me to continue on doing what I'm doing and to make it better and find better ways of doing it. So really, it really does mean a lot to me, all of your support. Thank you guys all so much. A huge, huge thanks to my patrons and all of the advice and suggestions you guys have given over the last year. It has really helped me grow and learn more skills and be able to do this a little bit better. We're still kind of new, but we've had some good growth and I have very good plans for the future for us all. And with that said, one of the suggestions that I have had a lot of has been to start a video blog for the channel. So here it is. Welcome everybody to the first installment of what I believe I'm going to call MWP and Me. I'm planning to make one of these a month, maybe a little bit more of if I can actually find more interesting things and funny things to talk about. And what I'm kind of looking to achieve by doing this is to kind of learn more about what you guys like and what you're into, and also to learn more about myself if you're interested in that as well. And maybe get to hang out, just kind of have a chat, discuss some things, and share some random interesting funny moments that I might come across, for example like this. I found this statue in the central of Malta in Valletta, and the first thing I thought of doing was this. See what I mean? Quality content. So to get things started, in the first couple of series or installments or episodes or whatever you want to call this, I don't really call it. Do you call them parts? Do you call them? What I'm really going to go across first off is kind of how I do what I do. I have been asked a few times how I actually record my stuff, how I go through editing, what programs I use for such like this. Now again, do bear in mind I am still very new to this. I've been doing the YouTube thing just over a year and I'm still learning quite a lot about all the different things that can be used to do it. But I'll definitely go across what I have discovered and what I can show you guys a little bit better by making a bit of a video and talking about it in a little bit more of a discussion. So there is quite a lot to cover over the first couple because I have changed everything in the way that I do it quite a lot over the last 6, maybe 8 months. So we'll get started as best we can. Hopefully you'll find this interesting. Some of you guys may find it a little bit dull or stuff you've already seen before. But hey, if you've got any other suggestions about how I could make it easier, you'd really be helping a man out. So let me know down below. That'd be great. In the meantime, let's get started with it. And yeah, let's check it out and see what we can do here. So around about a year ago, when the girlfriend first moved to Malta, she actually spent a good amount of time in Italy before we decided to come here. She found us this really, really nice place, quite a big place, and it turned out that it had an extra room. So one of the first things that I did is, after having a quick conversation with her, is we decided that we could claim this as a spare room for family and visitors, but also primarily as my office. So yes, I actually have a place to call my very own office now. We've come a long way from a year ago when I was sat with a very useless laptop, cross-legged on the floor in the living room, hogging up the TV trying to make recordings. And I mean trying. So firstly, I bought a TV and a saw, and that will come in handy later. Next, I started unpacking everything. The old laptop for net browsing and the uploads, the new powerhouse of a laptop for editing and recording purposes only. The wireless keyboard for easy interface with both of the laptops, the Xbox's keyboard so I can type faster when I'm on stream, the Xbox of course, the Venom charging dock, a great piece of equipment, actually highly recommend it, the Turtle Beach headset that I use, also great, not very costly, passport external hard drive for moving files between the two laptops, and cables, more cables, and a power extension. With all of that kit laid out roughly where I thought it would sit pretty well on the desk, I took some measurements, and after some tinkering I came up with a design that should keep everything kind of cozy and within reach, but mostly keep it tidy with extra room in case of chances of overheating and such, and of course coffee. So then it was off to the nearby DIY hardware store to buy some wood. I told you I'd need that saw. Obviously, I don't drive here, so carrying these things back one at a time from a shop when it was about 35 degrees Celsius in the sun was not great. not the best. I wouldn't recommend it. But after some cutting, a little bit more cutting, a lot of sweat, and some more cutting, some more cutting. That was the end of that day, and I made a very nice vegan pasta for me and my girl. No. The next day consisted of screwing. Lots of screwing. A little bit of liquor paint, and it was done. The paint messed up a little bit, but I'm pretty pleased with it anyway. Now, to the setup. I started by connecting the power supply unit and using a 6-plug extension. Hung it on the wall with some little sticky hooks that I found, trying to keep all of the cables out of the damn way. First was the Xbox in place, and to run its power supply, again, tidy. Next was a HDMI out from the Xbox to the HDMI in on the Elgato HD60 capture card that we use. This will live in front of the TV. I generally like to keep it there so I can make sure it's functioning quite well. Next is the Venom controller charging dock. This connects by a USB charger cable that goes to the back of the console. Not a phone charger, it's the slightly large one. I forget what it's called, just the big one. There's 2 USB on the back of the Xbox One. This will take up one of them. Next for the Xbox is going to be the webcam. This little Logitech USB webcam that I got from a Tesco's in the UK for around about 20 quid. And it works really well, actually. And that's what I'm using for my stream cam and will eventually be using for the face cams as well, which people will be coming soon. It takes up one port at the side of the Xbox is what I'll be using, as we're going to need to swap it out to the laptop soon for face cam recordings. Like this one. Hey! The last USB slot on the back of the console will be used for the USB keyboard. I got this nice looking GTX 280 from a supermarket. It's nothing special, but it glows. Yay! But I've just been leaving these things nearby. We need the TV in place to lay the rest out. So the TV I bought only has 2 HDMI sockets, and I want to have 3 of them connected at one time. To save swapping cables all the time, I got a HDMI splitter switch. This one will take 3 inputs and let me switch the ones that displays using a handy-dandy remote control and an infrared detector that came with it. It's a pretty awesome thing, actually. This HDMI line leads out to the TV. One connects the HDMI out in the Elgato. The other one is for laptop A, and the other one is for laptop B. Next, we need to connect the Elgato HD60 via another USB connector cable. Again, same one, another one of the random fat ones, don't remember what it's called. And that will connect to the laptop for recording purposes. Next is the Elgato chat link. Now, I had a really hard time with this, and I know a lot of you guys also had quite a difficulty with it too, but I did manage to figure it out, so hopefully this is going to help you guys out. Bear with me. Now, the problem that I had with this was not because of the cable, but the software. We will cover that in just a little bit. But for the cable, connect the male jack to the Elgato HD60 next to your HDMI in. Remember to connect the solo jack, not this one. This one connects to your controller, and the female jack socket is where you're going to be connecting your headset. For me, this was a bit too much cable, so I hung the headset on a hook. Finally, I added a lamp for a little bit of extra lighting, which kind of works. You can still see the sunburn though. And of course a phone charger to keep my vape charged up and working. Thanks, Playbook and Wolf. The last issue here was no internet, so I ran a 15-meter Ethernet line from the router in the main room all the way through the corridor of the house into the office, into a second router, and then from there ran 2 Ethernet lines, one for the laptop that controls all of the uploads and runs the stream chat, and the other one to the Xbox One. Lastly, I pinned down any connections to the desk so that if I did decide to move anything, such as disconnecting a laptop to use in the TV in the other room, I wouldn't lose any of the connectors behind the desk and have to fish it out later. And it was done. And it wasn't looking too bad. Tidy. So here's to the fun part. Turn on the laptop running the Elgato and you should see white lights pulse across the top, followed by a red. Turn on your Xbox One and open the game capture software on your machine, and the Elgato will pulse white from the center out, showing that it has a signal. First off, make sure you have at least the minimum PC spec required to run the software, or you will have corrupted footage, and eventually your CPU just won't even try anymore. Yeah, crap top. Now, this one I had a hard time with. I looked everywhere. I'm not even joking, everywhere. I searched all over, trying to find a way to make this cable work correctly, but I found nothing helpful. But you can record your voice, your game sound, your party chat, all into one file using the chat link cable. It took me a while to sort it out, but here's what I did and how I eventually got it to work. So you can see here I'm using the Elgato HD capture software to be able to capture what's happening on my laptop, and that's easy enough. All I did is swap out the HDMI out from my laptop with the HDMI out from the Xbox One. So the laptop is feeding its TV feed into the capture card, and it works pretty well. It's not a huge problem. So first thing you want to do is head over to the device and locate the gear icon in the corner here and open that up to select settings. Now, normally it will open you out under the capture tab and check that your audio input is set to analog. The next settings I've all pumped to max. You can see they're grayed out here because we're not connected to the Xbox One. But the next thing you want to do here is head over to the advanced tab. Under here is TV compatibility. I'm not entirely sure what it does, but when I turned it down to 0, I got my voice, the game sound, and the party chat. So I suggest starting at 0 and adjusting in steps and seeing what makes it work for you. These will adjust all of your color, saturation, hue, brightness, and contrast. Now, it can save you some time in editing, but it will pull a lot more processor power, so I recommend using the default settings for that, and maybe adjusting it and see how well you go. And the other tab we have here is Profiles, and I have absolutely no idea what this means. Next, head over to your Xbox One, press the center home button, and open up your menu, and tab over to the System, and hit Settings. Head down to Display and Sound, and select the volume. Make sure your chat mixer is set to do nothing, or your volumes will change when you talk, which is a huge pain. I have my party output as headset. Otherwise, you're going to pick up your party chat twice. Once through your headset, and again on the TV if you set it to both headset and speakers. Remember, the Elgato will record everything that is heading through the HDMI cable to the TV, even if you have the TV volume turned off. The setup TV and AV I've never touched, so it shouldn't cause you any problems. And the volume change by volume I have set to 1 step, but I'm not entirely sure what it really does. With that, go back to the dashboard and open the home once more, and start yourself a party. Make it invite only so you don't get interrupted while trying to make a tutorial, and head into the System tab again. Oh, and make sure you have your chat link and headset connected here. You will now see audio under here. Open it up, and these sliders will now also adjust the volume of your voice and the game sound inside of your recording. There was a headset mixer option in here too, but I can't find it now for some reason. It may have been removed in the last dashboard update. So there it is. You should now be able to test the recording on any of your favorite games. You'll find that you get the game sound, your voice sound, pull somebody into a party chat, and you should get their sound too. It takes a little bit of tinkering around to balance out the audio levels. I'm finding that people in my parties are louder than me, so I'm still working on trying to balance out the audio, but it can be done. Definitely is a thing. And I think that's going to be enough for our very first vlog. Very happy to say as well that the live streams are back up. I'll be doing a live stream test right now once this video is uploaded. So if you want to head over to the Mixer channel, check it out, come and say hi, you're more than welcome to. The links, of course, are down below. There are also a lot of other changes that I've made to the channel over the last couple of days. You may notice that the cover art has been changed. I've also changed the way that the channel is actually laid out. The audio track on the intro has now been changed. I much more appreciate this one. Feel free to headbang if required. The face cams will also be coming to the recordings once I do a little bit more testing with the system that I have at the moment to try and figure out how to use that with the capture software, or if I have to change to OBS. Not entirely sure which one that might be. And lastly, I'm trying my very best to increase the amount of updates and posts that are happening on the community Facebook page, as along with the actual Twitter account as well. I've been neglecting Twitter, and I do apologize for that, guys. So keep an eye on those. Again, if you'd like to find them and follow them, links, of course, are down below. Lots more are on the way, guys. If you have any other comments, suggestions, tips, tricks, things you'd like to say, things you'd like me to do, feedback on what I've said here, if I've got anything wrong, or if you're having any problems, or if you just want to say hi and say hello. That's what this vlog is all about. So go ahead, drop them down below. I look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. It's great to be back. I can't wait to get on with all of the other things I have planned. And looking to change my backdrop pretty soon too, so keep an eye out for that. That should be a little bit more interesting. Thanks again, everybody. Great to see you all again. Have a good evening, and I can't wait to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.